what I plan to do for today, which looks a bit long and complicated. Anyway, to make it simple, we have presentation, we have lecture, right? But just some gentle reminder later on. Okay, so let me try to wait for a little bit more time. Okay, maybe we can start. We have now 25. Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to week 4 tutorial and lecture. Of course, normally the first 2 hours should be lecture and the third hour should be tutorial, but to make it flexible, similar to the past weeks, we will go for presentation first. In case it overrun, we still have flexibility. If we put it in the third hour, and then it will be very rushed at the end of the class, all right? Okay, so the agenda for today, today we are in week 4, Thursday, February the 4th, all right? So just a gentle reminder, we will have our New Year break for 7 days from 11th to 17th, okay? So suppose 1 week later, which is 11th of February, however, because of the New Year break, talking about the week 5 class will be held 2 years later, which is next year in terms of year of the ox, all right? And then it means that for week 5, it's not 1 week from today, but 2 weeks from today, the next class will be February 18th. And then that's why, therefore, people presenting in week 5, just per your group, it will be on February 18th, all right? Okay, so this is an announcement. And then, as usual, I will ask you to take the attendance. After that, we will start our presentation. Present group, try to get ready and see whether you can share the file and also turn on microphone. After the 25 minutes presentation, there will be critique. And then the critique will last at most 15 minutes. All right, so that will be the schedule. So after all this, suppose there will be a break. When you come back from the break, we will continue our boring lecture, which is, try to at least complete chapter 3. And if we have time, or we should have time, and then we will go for chapter 4. So that will be the schedule for today. I will come back to this whiteboard later on. For the first item, reminder, okay, people presenting in week 5, which is not next week, but 2 weeks from today. Okay, so I will stop sharing this one. And now, here comes the QR code for the attendance for the first 2 hours. And the password is 456456. Okay, so go ahead and take the attendance for the first 2 hours, which is supposed classified as a lecture, all right? But we will go for presentation. And if you're finished doing that, would you mind just helping me? Let me know. You type DONE done. If I saw a lot of people do, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, Yan Ting. All right. And then, oh, good. Kurt and then Bonnie. Yes, all these are the usual one, Locky. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, more than 10. And then, yes, I will leave it for another 15 seconds, 15 seconds. Yes, Jiqing, Jeffrey, and also before, I writing. All right. Okay. Yes. I now. Thank you. Thank you so much for your fast response. Okay, and also so Jiying, etc. Okay, stop sharing for this one, and very efficient. We have completed item 1 and item 2. Okay, now showtime, talking about the presentation on the product called Dropbox. You should have heard it before, but whether you use it before is another matter, because people usually use Google Drive, OneDrive, etc. All right. Okay, and now present group. I try to share your file, share your screen, and also turn on your microphone to see whether it works or not. All right, and you try to analyze, is it good, is it possible, and then we want to know whether our product is liked by people, desired by people, whether they will buy it or not. And later on you will hear some terminology such as concept test, such as BIS, buying intention survey, such as face to face. such as GIL. All right. And then even though we don't have final exam, but I can tell you that all these concepts are very important to your end of semester business plan. You need to include that. Even though we don't have exam, but you must understand all these. And in future, when you communicate with me, your written report, I will tell you that you must include desirability, demand, which have different way method called CT, BIS, F2F, and then also GIL. So pay particular attention to the next half an hour. All others, as compared, is a little bit relatively minor. So later on, pay 120% attention to all this, because you need to incorporate all this into your written report, and the written report account for 40%. All right, almost half of the assessment. Try to sideline, show off. Yes, I learned something. All this terminology. Okay, so just let you know. Yes, this is what I'm going to cover. All right. Okay, so I will stop sharing about this one, and then another pre-lecture briefing, which is let me try to share here. I presume that everybody now see the PDF talking about chapter 3, feasibility analysis. Just now I mentioned several terms, pit-off. You will see it again in the PowerPoint slide, pit-off. And under P, we have desirability, demand. We have BIS. I hope you can see what I said here. We have CT, we have face-to-face, BIS, and GIL. This is what I mentioned, all right? So in the next half an hour, I will cover all this. So let's start. And then go back to my usual PowerPoint slide, which is chapter 3, feasibility analysis. And let me try to get my things. See whether it works or not. Okay, so if you didn't see the PowerPoint slide, let me know. All right, let me see. Okay, chapter 3, feasibility analysis, FA, and I get my point first. All right, and then yes, we cover the first few PowerPoint slides. Just go over again. We go for definition, and then we go for P, I, T, I, target market, T, target market. We go for O, we go for F, PITOF. And a feasibility analysis is to test the definition whether my product idea, are they feasible, are they viable, are they practicable. And then we want to see, I just have something in mind, but I need to ask the customer, do you like our product, or something like that, and to try to find out the pros and cons, advantage and disadvantage of our product. Okay, so as far as the feasibility analysis is concerned, we go for pit-off. The pit-off is product, target market, etc. So here, chapter 2, we study the recognizing opportunity and then generating idea. This is from chapter 2, generating idea, chapter 2. And then after this, now we are in chapter 3. We try to test, and this is our subject for today. And later on, this is from chapter 4. This is from chapter 6, writing a business plan. And in between, we still have chapter 4 and 5. All right, they are also important. And then end up, we launch the business. So if you can recall, last time we talked about all these. Chapter 1, FBI, chapter 1, PICT, chapter 1, and then chapter 2, SECC, and then chapter 2, recognizing opportunity and generating idea. And then we have so many ideas, you cannot fulfill everything in one go. So we go for corridor principle. 全部啲 terms 出晒嚟. I hope you still can remember. And of course, in the first lecture, we also learned about recall. All right. So as far as the recall is concerned, we talk about here innovative idea, which is also very creative idea. All right. And then we need to take some sort of risk. And resources why, we will cover that in the second half of chapter 3. And we recognize opportunity. All right, so this is how the structure, the logical flow. And of course, as far as the chapter 3 is concerned, we go for Pitoff. Okay, and last week I used the example of CTU, the vet school, as an example. Just try to recall you, 招返你個魂返嚟, okay? And then, yes, the government tried, CTU tried to ask the government to support as a UGC funded program. And then the government, before they give university granting committee, before they grant as a UGC, because government need to pay a lot of money to support students to go for UGC degree. And that's why they try to, screen whether your idea is good or not. And then at the beginning, CTU encounter a lot of failure, but CTU got tenacity despite failure. And at the beginning, some 10, 15 years ago, the government reject CTU, saying that, no, I don't approve your degree as a UGC funded, no UGC funded. Simply because your idea is not feasible. Okay, not feasible. Oops, hold on. And then why not feasible? And then they criticize. Okay, talking about the product itself, we don't have such demand according to the government. The excuse when they want to say no, they always have a lot of things, excuse, reason to say no. And they say that, hey, desirable, all right? Hong Kong people do not need your degree. DSE student, they won't go to your degree as a UGC funded program. The target market about the degree, people prefer go to Hong Kong U, Econ and Finance, etc., etc. And then, come on, no, I will reject you. And also, Hong Kong people in the whole industry talking about the animal clinic. We don't have a huge demand, so I don't think your product is good. And they try to reject. And even though CTU can persuade, no, DSE students love our product. And Hong Kong people always love pet. And that's why I think people will be interested to go for a study with a vet degree, okay? And the government will say, okay, even though you can persuade me, your product is good, Hong Kong people like it, and you do a survey, DSE student, if their marks is good enough, they will go for that instead of go for medical degree, because medical degree, student got 30 points, etc. If they have 25 something, might not be going to, but they may think a family animal clinic, okay, with a vet degree may work. And then they will criticize, even though you can persuade me that the product is good, but hey, come on, you, CTU, do you have HR resources? Recall, human resources. This is your first degree here. We don't have professor teaching, animal clinic, talking about, a doctor, but for animal. And then you don't have expert. How can you offer the degree? And after all, campus-wise, we are not talking about just, for example, okay, I'm not trying to offend anything. Our business faculty, we just bullshitting. Japanese studies, you might need to have some Japanese culture, no problem. But we don't have to have a big campus with a lot of big medical machine, radiology, 放射性治療, CT scan, 磁力共振, and then they need a lot of money. They need a lot of space, like as a clinic, to have all this kind of equipment. And then, hey, CTU, you're not able to do that. All right, that's why they reject. But of course, with tenacity despite failure, and then they try to help, tackle all this problem. Money-wise, somebody may donate $300 million. Last week, I showed you the newspaper clipping. All right, and that's why in CTU, we have a campus building called Academic Building 2. They changed to 李達三葉耀真樓 because that couple 李達三葉耀真donate $100 million, not $100, $100 million, and that's why space-wise, equipment-wise, we have a lot of money, and then we kick out CCCU. They are now UOW College Hong Kong, so they move out of the campus, and that's why we used to have our office in Academic Building 2, but we are now in Festival Walk. So this is the background. Okay, so that is the one we talked about last time. No, now we will slow down and try to, cover the remaining part. Okay, so whenever we talk about analysis and we need something to support, to 分析, to analyze, okay? So in order to analyze, we always need research. We always need some data, or you call it data, okay? We need data to analyze. So as far as research is concerned, there are two types of research. The first one is called primary, which is about the first-hand data. For example, you go to interview people in person, ask them questions. You got something first-hand. And then that is not good enough. You may also need second-hand data, secondary data. It means that something already available in the market, okay, government statistic, and also some previous scholar, they might have done something on this. So you might, where's my point? You might go for some sort of data already available, data available, all right? So you need to do that. And later on, or people presenting next week, you might need to use the term about primary data, primary research, all right? So we will move on, and then you will be able to get a better understanding on this. Okay, so to do the feasibility analysis, and then this is what we said, we need to go for P, and then I, T, sorry for the mouse, okay, it's terrible, O, and then F, Pitoff. And just now, we said that under product, we have desirability, we have demand, and in the next 20 minutes, concept test plus BIS plus FTF, face-to-face. Sorry, look terrible. And also GIL, okay? Now, we go for the first one. As I mentioned in the whiteboard just now, this is the important part, all right? So pay particular attention. I will try to give more information, more detail, even though, it's mainly for the business plan, for your report, but somehow you never know whether you're finance, account, Japanese study, you may start a new business. And then I think all this will be useful in reality, okay? Even though you may find it boring, but you might need to use that if you start your business, okay? So we are now going for P-I-T-O-F, Pitoff. We start with the first one, P, okay? And it's subdivided into desirability and demand, as what I said earlier. Okay, so a product feasibility analysis is to summarize, to have an assessment, to analyze as a whole, whether our product idea is good or bad, all right? Whether it's feasible. It's subdivided into desirability and later on demand. It means that whether people, are in business world, in marketing, we have, the NWD. NWD are whether they need that, whether they want that, whether they demand for that, NWD. So this is what we will cover. All right. And before you go and talk to people, you ask yourself first, okay, what Chinese people call 泥水佬做門，過到自己，過到人哋. And then if you cannot persuade yourself, how can you go out to persuade people? So whenever you have an idea, and then you try to ask yourself before you go and ask somebody else, all right? And then you ask yourself, does my product idea make sense? And then whether we feel a gap, it means that, yes, is my product idea good? If it makes sense, no problem. If yes, and then you jump to the next one. Even though my product makes sense, but similar thing already happened in the market, and then no point, because there are a lot of things same as yours in the market. Why you go and do something? No need. And then you say, oh no, my idea is good, and then in the market there is nothing similar to that. There is a gap. Yes, good. And then you can move on. And the third one is there any fatal flaw? Idea is good, but design-wise, the whole design, the whole concept, is there any serious problem? Okay, fatal flaw. And I just put this one. If you tell me, J-To, I have a new invention. I have a solar torch. And then whenever the sunshine is bright, and then my torch will work very well. Even though you cannot save the energy inside, you need to use it right away whenever there is sunshine. And of course, this is just a joke. And people may say that, come on, if there is sunshine, and then why I need your torch? And then even worse, you said that your torch cannot save energy, only use when there is a bright sunshine. But normally we use it at night. So this is a fatal flaw, all right? So everybody, if you love Stephen Chow, yes, okay, 羅家英, whoever, and then say, I got a solar torch or something. Okay, so this may be a fatal design, all right? Something like this, all right? So that's why before you go out and ask people, you better persuade yourself, yes, my product makes sense. Even it makes sense, but if something already in the market, also no point. You said that, yes, nothing in the market, I can fill the gap. And then also there is no serious problem in terms of design, in terms of concept. And then if you can persuade yourself, now you can go on with your feasibility analysis. Okay. So as far as feasibility analysis is concerned, I think, this Chinese two sentence, two phrase, 人冇我有，人有我優 is quite important. Of course, as an entrepreneur, you have recall, innovative idea. And that's why you should do something that people do not have. This is your own creative idea. And even if there is something in the market, you are always better than your competitor. Otherwise, your idea doesn't work because everything in the market, all the competitors, they have something and they have something better than yours. And then why I should spend money on your product? You got a lot of similar things and yours is not the best. And then also the most expensive one, I don't need your product, something like this, okay? So in doing that, just reminder, we are now talking about desirability. And later on, we have demand, okay? So I always lose my pointer, the desirability here, okay? So as far as desirability is concerned, you need to conduct a test to test whether your product is okay or not. So as far as the test is concerned, you need to prepare a concept statement. Okay, let me make it clear. You need to conduct a concept test. You use a concept statement to conduct concept tests. I have marketed a lot of business plan in the past years. All right, this is not the first time I teach this course. And then these are one of the major problem by the student. Even though I repeat for 3, 4, 5 times, but they still confused. All right, we are now talking about you have a statement, a written statement, as a tool, 係一個工具, and you use the tool as a concept statement to carry out a concept test. All right, so they are interrelated, not the same. You need a statement to carry out a concept test. All right, and it means that when you go for a midterm test, of course you have exam paper. The exam paper is a concept statement, and then through the exam paper, the statement, and then you have a test, which is a midterm test, etc. Right? Okay, so with the statement, and then there are some information contained inside, which is here. Describe your product. Hopefully, our product is new, unique, nothing in the market. Even though there may be something in the market, in the statement, you should also tell people how good is your product. And your product is always better than your competitor. All right, so that is the key point. And if your product idea is good, which is here, and even so happen you have competitor with similar product, but you always tell people, my product is good. We are always better than our competitor. 人冇我有，人有我優. All right, to persuade people, buy my product. You definitely need that. You definitely want that. Okay. All right. So a sample of concept statement, as what we said here, we got a description, who are the target market, blah, blah, blah. So the statement is a description, a 1-4 paper. Here's the one. You show a written statement, okay, to show what are my product, and then, why my product is so good. And then our is always better than competitor. And we have a good team of people to handle the whole product. So for some go ahead, buy our product. All right. Okay, so up to this moment, what I want to say is people always confused. You use a concept statement to carry out a concept test to tell people 人冇我有，人有我優. Nobody have the product, or even people have the product, mine is better. And then talking about the test, we will cover in the next 5-6 PowerPoint slides. But up till now, we are not talking about concept test. We are just talking about concept statement. And then now, how the statement used it in the test. Next one, just now we talk about desirability. Now here are the demand. All right, there are several methods for doing the test. Test the demand, 測試下個需求. All right, so we have talking to customer face to face. We have online too. We have GIL. Okay, so here is the CT. Here is the FTF. Face to face. My pointer, where are you here? Face to face. Here is the GIL. And later on, we will cover BIS. Okay, 呢啲就係正話所講嘅 concept. And then GIL stand for Gumshoe Research. There will be a PowerPoint slide explain that. GIL. Internet, and library. All right, so all the terms come up now. So we'll go over and explain them one by one. Okay, so first one, step one, face-to-face. All right, so just now we said that you got some idea and then you put it in writing with a statement, a concept statement, together with a sample, a prototype. Prototype is a 樣板, a dummy, okay, a model, a figure, depending on what product you are. And then you go to talk to the people face to face, all right? And then you try to tune to the customer reaction. Okay, try to go into the what they want to understand 貼地啲, down to earth, to understand do they think our product is good. You try to seek the comment, do some revision, all right? So at this moment, you can imagine after you got a product idea, and then you put it in writing in a concept statement. You also try to use 3D printing, okay, assuming you are having a product, for example, a toy, and then you have a sample, a prototype, a dummy, okay, and then you go to Mongkok, go to Causeway Bay, 做街訪 to do a survey. And then when people walk by, hey, come, do you have 1 minute? Come over. And then now, take a look of our sample or a dummy, a prototype, okay, of our product. And you try to tell people, describe, this is our product and, how it works, etc. And then you ask people, okay, so just touch it, just feel it, just hold it. 摸下，拎上手啊, and how you feel that? Do you have any suggestions for us to revise the version? All right, and then if you can recall last time, if I have an idea of educational toys, okay, 黃色鴨仔, if you still can remember something like that, sir. Okay, and then you can make a sample together with statement, a talking duck. They can say, hi, how are you? Good boy, good girl, and things like that. And with the sample with the statement, and then you go to talk to the people face to face and ask them, hey, this is our product, how do you like it? And when the customer hold the product, they may think it is too big, too small, too heavy, whatever their comment, so that you can improve, because they are the future customer to buy your product. And if this is a toy, if it is quite small, you thought that a small one is cute, all right? But some parents, some people you interview, talk to them face to face, they may say, hey, I am a father of 2 kids. 我有2個仔，一個仔一個女， and then sorry, your product is too small. I suspect that my kid will swallow that. 咁細個佢吞咗落肚喎 ，very dangerous. They will swallow into their stomach. And then, oh yes, true, because I have never get married. I have never aware that you as a parent with little kid, you know that it may be too small. And then okay, no problem. And later on, you can improve your idea. Okay, so you can do something like that to make sure your product really pleased by, liked by the customer. Okay, so this is about talking to people face to face. And then you got a prototype. You use a concept statement to carry out the concept test. You test the feedback to ask people for what can be improved. Okay, so I hope up to this moment you are clear what I have said just now, but that is not good enough. Okay, we move on to the further action. Something new. You can take a photo later on or whatever, all right? So this is what I call a BIS. BIS stands for Buying Intention Survey, all right? Okay, so how does it work? A buying intention survey, once again, you try to talk to the customer to see whether they're interested in your product or not with the concept statement. This is what I said just now, all right? The concept test, a concept statement to carry out the concept test, plus the dummy, all right, the sample about look so ugly. OK， 呢隻係一隻鴨嚟嘅。OK 嚇，係要有聰明嘅人先睇到嘅。And then you go and ask people for the comment, and they said, oh yes, interesting. Even though it's a bit small, my kid will swallow that. So if you can make it bigger, they can hold in hand to play, but they cannot swallow them. Otherwise, it will kill my kid. All right. Okay. Yes, I understand the comment. And even though they said, yes, if you improve that is good, but when they say that is good, it doesn't mean that they will buy it. And that's why you need to conduct a survey. The survey is buying intention survey. And then right after that, okay, right after this, they give you comment and say, okay, give me 1 more minute. And then I just want to ask you if we really have the product in the market and I have taken into account your feedback, I will improve. And then after that, will you buy it? So this is a buying intention survey to ask people whether they will buy it or not. If I have a product like this and roll out in the market, and then your comment have been taken into account, will you buy it? Okay, so the survey, 一個問卷調查 something like this. With the product, you show the concept statement plus the dummy. And then whether definitely buy, maybe, I'm not sure, may not buy it, definitely I hate this, look ugly, I won't buy it. So that you have the intention, people whether they like it or not. Even though a lot of people say, probably, or even not definitely, okay, maybe 20% say definitely, and then 60% say probably. All right, so quite good. A lot of people, 10 people, 6 people out of 10, they will say probably buy it, but that is not the end of the story. And then they said, I think I will buy it. And then you must also ask how much. If their budget of buying that is $20, but your production cost together with all the costs cost $100. People may say, hey, TLC, $100 to buy the little yellow duck. Definitely I won't. And that's why even though they think they may buy it, also depends on the price. If their budget is $15 to $25, but your production cost is above $100. It means that if this is production cost, you may need to sell it for $130, $150, and people is willing to buy around that range. So forget the idea. Even though people like your product, they think they may buy it, but having heard about the price, they say, oh, forget it. And then in that case, your product idea still doesn't work because you pass your concept test. You pass, people think good, but you fail your BIS because people will not be willing to pay, that much to buy so-called a stupid toy like this. Unless it is only $20, no problem. But $130, come on, no way, something like this. All right, and that's why you need to down to earth to tell people, to ask people something. All right. Recently, we are talking about the financial secretary,波叔陳茂波 in the TV campaign, and he said that 我唔知你口味又點樣煮你啱食嘅餸咧？加啲鹽，加啲糖，仲有加啲橙皮添 ，something like this. This is the example I used last time. All right, and that's why they are equally important. Concept test plus BIS. All right. And then this is the first step. You go out and reach the potential customer and ask them if they accept your concept, if they are willing to buy it. And after this, not good enough. So when you come back to your office, you might need to do some online tools. All right. So the example used here is, for example, you will type in the Google AdWord, whether this is the popular searching word. And then if you type in, yellow duck, it is on the top of the list. It means that, wow, a lot of people, internet user, they really want to find out more about a yellow duck. And then, yes, you think your product is popular because a lot of people interested in that. And then it can encourage you or give you more confidence in doing the same thing, that thing. All right. And that's why, yes, supplement after desirability concept test, we go for BIS, and then we go for this kind of online tool. But you should take more steps to go for more. Go for more is what? Is GIL. All right. Okay, the GIL, earlier you saw that a gumsuit research, you are just like a detective. You try to observe, you try to ask, you try to, test whether people like it, just like a detector. You investigate bits and pieces. 一個偵探緊，慢慢抽絲剝繭, right? And if I'm using the example of the yellow duck, all right, and then the example is, after you go for BIS, after you go for concept test, when you come back to office, you also go and search internet to find some secondary data. Secondary data including what are the birth rate of the baby, all right? It means that if people think your product is good, they are willing to pay the price that you can afford to make that or to sell that in that range. But just extreme example, if the birth rate, for children drop by 50-60%, all right, it means that we don't have too many baby, and then we don't have a huge market. Forget about it, because you got the product, but the market cannot really absorb your product. We got a lot less baby, something like this. Okay. Okay. So also when we talk about the feasibility of the vet school, all right. And then the example here is for CTU, when they want to prove whether the product is feasible or not. If we apply GIL here, it means that you go and go to the library, or nobody use the library now, internet research, talk about how many people raise pet, 有幾多人養寵物啦? Okay, how many people love pets? How many family clinic in here raise pet? How much they usually spend on medical expenses on their dog, on their cats, and on the other pets, animal, etc. And then you will have a better idea whether we have such a huge demand or not, something like this. Okay, so as far as gumsuit research is concerned, last time in chapter 2, if you can recall, let me show you. A gumsuit research is just like a detective, okay? 抽絲剝繭去偵查, and then you try to bits and pieces, try to search around, all right? And even ask people what they think about your product idea. And similar to face-to-face, that's why we go in one, we go all these items in one go. And you can even observe like what? Here, let me see, which ones I refer back to. Okay, so you also try to observe bits and pieces. For example, when you talk about the yellow duck, you can stand outside the Toys R Us or some toy shop to see how many people go into the shop, And then how many people come out of the shop and get something from 玩具反斗城 Toys R Us, and then oh, so many people comes out with a bag carrying the toy of a yellow duck, and you know that, wow, I think yes, Hong Kong people love my toy. All right. And then this is a Gumshoe research. And last time we also talking about, this is from lecture note number 2. All right. And then last time we also talk about what type of research. The research is called day and life research. If you can recall, I produced it from lecture 2. And then basically a day in the life research is also part of or example of gumshoe research. You observe people, the baby, they cannot control, manipulate the spoon and fork. You got a 90-degree, for the babies. And then you go to elderly home and look at people, how people fall down. And then, yes, in that case, I think they need some better support. And when they go out in the bus stop, their leg cannot support the whole body. So your walking stick should have some chair on this. And then this is comes with research. You try to observe how people use it. What are the difficulty? Or last time, if you can also remember, day in the life research, comes with research, you got the yellow duck, yellow in color, black in color. Remember what I said last time? Blue in color, and then red in color. And then you bring all these 4 color of toy to kindergarten and put it on the desk and say, come, student, kids, come and get the toy. And people grab this. Nobody get this. Nobody grab this. And some, take the red one. You know that this is a gumshoe research. You try to observe. 偵探咁你去調查，你去觀察 and then in that case, your conclusion is that even though I will roll out this in the market, but definitely I won't produce a black and blue color, a red one. Maybe the most popular one is the yellow one. All right, so this will help you to think or to confirm whether your idea is good or not. All right, okay, and then up to this moment. Hold on. Okay, so up to this moment, I hope you catch what I said just now. Let me repeat once again. You are producing or printing a A4 size paper about your description. This is a concept statement. Together with your sample, your prototype, okay, you go out and conduct a concept test. And after seeking people's comment on the product, how to improve, at the same time, 打蛇隨棍上, you ask them to conduct a survey. Hey, if we have this product, will you buy it? Yes or no? And then if you buy it, you think, yes, I think I will buy it, but wow, expensive, I won't. I can pay $20 for that, and you can afford to sell for $20. Good, go ahead. And then you are making a step forward. But 90% of people say, hey, your product looks so ugly, and then no use. I think I will not buy this for my kids. Cancel it, forget it. If yes, and then you come back to your office. Sorry, it should be here. And then you come back to the office and you try to do internet research to find out the number of kids, the birth rate in Hong Kong. And then you even go to do a gumshoe research, day in life. And then you go to the kindergarten and then together with different color of dummy to see whether people like it or not, etc., etc. Okay, so this is all about product. And I will now give you a break. When you come back from the break, I will spend only about 20 minutes on the remaining item. And then after that, we will go for the next chapter. So we only finished part of this now. And then we have another break, 5 minutes break. And during the break, I will show you the QR code for the third hour. And then after taking the QR code, we'll come back to finish chapter 3. And then we will start chapter 4 a little bit. Okay? So break time now, you know, it's 4:02. Maybe just, you know, sorry, 5:02. Come back at 5:07 or something like this. Okay, break time. And I'm going to retrieve the QR code for the third hour. Give me a little bit time. And general. Okay, go and get a cup of tea, water, go to toilet, answer phone call, whatever. Let me try to do it. Okay, attendance QR code for the remaining, the third hour. Password the same, 456, 456, same look, same look. Okay, 幫緊你，幫緊你。If you didn't see the QR code, let me know. Okay, yes, 乖乖, and just try to stay calm and be patient for the next 40 minutes, all right? Okay, definitely I can finish chapter 3 and I will move to chapter 4 to catch up. And also I have mentioned earlier. Let me try to use a new one to explain the progress to you. New one. Okay. For the courses, we will cover chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. Suppose we will cover these 12 chapters. But as far as the business plan is concerned, 你要寫一個計劃書。Okay, the business plan, which worth 40%, and that's why I just want to make sure everybody do a good job, or at least you pass. Okay, and then rather than failing the course and then you need to retake. No, okay, in your dictionary there is no F grade. Okay, and then I am now a little bit behind schedule. As I said, don't worry. For a normal, if this is a BUS course, and then I need to cover everything. But for a DGE, a degree general education, I just try to help you to make something useful or interesting. And that's why I may cut short at the end, all right? But for the first 6 chapters, they are important because you need to do this. And also, 1 and 2 is the basic foundation, opportunity, and idea. And chapter 3, we have covered concept test, GIL, BIS, CT, etc. And then also in chapter 5, we also have another important concept. All right, so we need to slow down in all this. In particular, chapter 3, we have pit-off, but P is the most important one. And then I, T, O, F are relatively minor. You might not need to use that in the business plan. You need to understand the concept. Okay, so this is my plan. And also, for all the students, because there may be a topic that I might not really fully cover, which is called the marketing one. If you study BFS before, which is good, and then the marketing, we learn about something called STP. All right, we will cover a little bit later on. That's why I use this as a pre-topic coverage. All right, this is what we call segmentation. And then targeting, STP. So you can mark it down, take a screenshot, and also do some research in order for your upcoming business plan and positioning. Okay, STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay, just give you one quick example. If you want to sell t-shirt after you graduate, you want to operate your business, even though that might not be an entrepreneurial firm, you just want to be safe, you sell t-shirt, right? So when you think I am going to sell t-shirt, however, what types of t-shirt? So in the clothing industry, and then you break into segment. The segment can be by age. It means that, are you going to sell baby t-shirt? So this is segmentation, all right? Or kids t-shirt, or young people t-shirt, or OL t-shirt, or elderly t-shirt. So you can break the Hong Kong population by ages, by 年齡. Okay, you do it in a segment, 一格一格. And then I sell baby t-shirt, it means that from 1 month to 2 years old, they cannot walk, just a baby, you are huddling the baby, cuddle the baby in your arm. 買 BB 仔啊，定係細路仔咧？3 years old to 8 years old, 10 years old, the kids. Or the segmentation will be young people like all of you, all right? 18, 20, 25, whatever. Or some working adult, or old people like Jito. Okay, so you are here, Jito is here. And then, yes, I sell t-shirt, but I can break people into different segments. And after doing the segmentation, you might do the analysis and decided to go to young people like all of you, because you all want to attract, boys, girls. You want to be a boy god, so you are willing to spend money on your package. Package mean brand building, 你個包裝靚唔靚? And then yes, I think we can earn big money on this segment. And then J 滔死窮鬼，who is a 窮 L 啊 poor L 冇錢嘅唔捨得嘅孤寒嘅 no way something like this. So you do analysis to decide which segment, and after you break in the segment, you decided to go for targeting. You sell t-shirt, but not range age from 0 to 99 years old. Okay, 太雜啦. And then you may decide to go for young people like you, because in your analysis, you think young people like all of you are willing to spend money because you want to attract the opposite sex, all right? Okay, so this is targeting. And even though you said that you go for young people, youngster like all of you, but positioning wise, you can make a high end, middle end, lower end, all right? 你就定位啦 ，position 定位。Yes, I want to attract high-end people, 高端人士。My T-shirt will sell for $1,000, just for example, all right, per T-shirt. But well, may not be good, but a lot of people like all of you coming from rich family, 富二代, you have a lot of money. And then, okay, under that situation, I don't think it may be good. Even though I can earn big money, my cost will be about 100, but I can sell it for 1,000. All right, and then in that case, you will say, okay, I think a T-shirt about $200, $400 will be reasonable. All right, and then you may target to the so-called the middle range, or you may think, hey, even though I focus on youngster, but I try to go for the cheap. Okay, my T-shirt is only $78. And then, I pay $200 for 3. 200蚊3件 something like this. And then this is STP. Later on, you will heard about the term, but in your future business plan, there will be a section called STP, and you can start doing the research, have a little bit understanding. I think when you search marketing STP, you got a lot of diagram, you got a lot of example, you got a lot of demonstration, etc. So you can do that. All right. Okay. And here is my hold on. When I talk about this one, and then we will touch on the segmentation. That's why I just give you something, in advance. All right. So let's take off the whiteboard and then go back to my PowerPoint slide. Okay. If you cannot see the PowerPoint slide, let me know. All right. Where am I? Okay. Yes. Let's start. And we have just the 4 items, the PITOF, P-I-T-O-F. We finish P. Now we are in IT. And 20 minutes later on, we'll go for O, organization and financial. So we are now industry and target market. Okay, let's start. So under this section, PITOF, IT, of course, you can tell from the name, we are analyzing industry together with target market to see how attractive, right? If they are not attractive, it means that no good, all right? And then you drop the idea, even the product idea is good, etc., etc., all right? And then let me see, week 5, yes, Jasper, Jeffrey, your group, okay, Seth and Judy, you are presenting week 5, which is talking about embrace informal. In question 1, they are also talking about the attractiveness of the target market. Okay, they are talking about primary and secondary research. Start reading the case, and then you still have 2 weeks to go. J2 is here to help you, 幫緊你, and then you can always feel free to contact me. All right, but this is somehow related to your presentation in question 1, the attractiveness of the target market. Okay, let's start. Okay, industry as a whole, whether they are structurally attractive, 係咪結構性吸引呢? What does it mean by structural attractive? Whether it is good for startup. Usually, startup are small one. Assuming that you finish your bachelor degree 1 year, 2 years, 3 years later, and then you might not have millions of dollars, but you want to start your own business. And then, unlike the giant company, okay, the Chang Kong Group, Sun Honggi Group, etc., and then you need to understand in the industry where is the way that I can operate. Okay, so what we said here, and structurally, if you want to go for open up a coffee shop, all right, let me remind you or apply what you have learned before. We have learned about LES. In order to keep you awake, the style of firm 嘅公司嘅模式類別, we learn about 3 different style of firm. Anybody can help me? What is L stand for, E stand for, S stand for? To see whether you all fall in sleep or already go away. Anybody can help? In chapter 1, LES, 3 types of firm. Yes, thank you, Lord Yi. Okay, I love you. All right. A lifestyle firm, which is true. And then any others? Anybody can recall anything? If not, don't worry. Okay. Yes, a salary substitute firm. Thank you. CK. Yes. Lifestyle. Where am I? Yes, lifestyle. Oops. Salary substitute, and also E, entrepreneur firm. All right. So if we are talking about cafe, it can be a lifestyle firm because I love drinking coffee. Yes, thank you, Jasper. Also entrepreneur firm. And then this is a lifestyle firm, or because you hate your boss. Okay, you just want to do something with freedom. Okay, you are your own boss, and then so long as I can earn something similar to the salary, it's okay. But of course, we are not talking about entrepreneur firm. Entrepreneur firm involve all of these. I love drinking coffee, and then now not innovative. A pets coffee shop, a box coffee shop, and remember a crazy example last time. So I will open up my SM coffee shop. 手扣皮鞭, and then people interesting. Okay, SM, and then this is something new, all right? Just joking, all right? So open up a coffee shop. Yes, a startup can really afford, and then you analyze the industry, whether if I'm going to open up a SM coffee shop, whether it is attractive or not, something like this. Okay. However, you also need to better understand whether there are barriers to entry. Okay, for non-business student, a barrier 係進入壁壘，進入壁壘。Okay, the barrier, the hurdle that prevents you from doing something. Okay, for example, my typical example in the past year is when we talk about Ricky Wong, Wang Weigie. And Wang Weigie is a very bright 神童嚟嘅, okay? He's bright, he's rich, and then he want to open up Hong Kong TV because he got a lot of money, he got a lot of good episode, movie, drama, TV program. He also managed to get a lot of people. Unfortunately, there is a barrier, and then Leung Chun-ying, CY Leung at that time say, Ricky Wong, you look very young, you look terrible. I don't want to give you a free TV license. And then if I don't have the government regulation, the TV license, how can I do that? And that's why if you go for something which has a high barrier, you need to get a license from the authority, like you know, the telecommunication, the free TV, and then if you are not capable of doing that, forget about that. All right, something like this. However, when we go back to the case, yes, originally this should be a TV station with a lot of drama, movie. Unfortunately, he cannot go in because of the high barrier. But tenacity despite failure, and together with execution intelligence, with a cognitive idea, PICT, SECC, so it changed from Hong Kong TV to Hong Kong TV more. And then he can be successful as well. So this is a very typical example of, you know, how an entrepreneur be successful, something like this. Okay， 好啦，去返正題啦。So when you analyze your product, what industry it belongs to, and whether you can go in or not, whether they are high barrier. If not high barrier, is it good for me to enter? And when you analyze, you may try to look at all this in future, right? For example, talking about life cycle. So if the product you are going to introduce already somewhere here, okay, introduction, mature, decline, 已經係夕陽行業 is going to decline. Forget about this. They are already old. They are at the latest stage of life cycle. Or no, it is quite introductory stage, but they are already occupied by big giant. 俾啲巨頭霸佔咗 and then no way you can fight with, because money wise you don't have enough money to fight with all those rich people, the tycoon businessmen, 啲商場大亨, all right? And then whether your product will be, it may be nice to have or it must have. If it is must have, of course you got a huge demand, but 可有可無, all right? And then may not be a very good potential, something like this. And then the profit margin, account people, okay, 盈利低. And then I can, you know, when I sell $100, you know, I can only earn $10 out of it. It means that the margin is 10%, no good. If I sell $100, but I can earn 70% of that, 10蚊我賺7蚊嘅, wow, very good. But 10蚊賺1蚊, oh, no good. Something like this. So you analyze whether the industry allow you or worthwhile to go in or not. All right. Okay. And then, of course, when you analyze the industry and people who present today, which we talk about environmental trend, which in the presentation today, we talk about pestle, something like this. Okay. So we learned it before, just a repeat, repetition of industry analysis. You analyze the environmental trend and also overall the business trend in your particular industry. Okay, so after you analyze the industry, you narrow down to target market. Target market related to STP. T, targeting. Okay, so you will see the term segmentation. Segment. Oops, here. Segmentation. All right. Okay, so as far as target market is concerned, in the larger segment, just now I sell t-shirt. It can be baby, kids, young people, working adult, elderly, and then you might focus on a narrow group. I am not going to sell t-shirt for people age range from 0 to 99. I might only focus on youngster t-shirt, which may be, for example, 12 to 25 years old, 年青時裝, 唔係長者時裝, something like this. All right, so this is just example. And then let me try to get rid of this and then restart again. Okay. So here are some sort of example for you to just take a look. When you analyze the target market, whether you focus on a narrow group, the example I used just now is about t-shirt, and of course, property development. We are talking about新鴻街, New World 新世界, Henderson 恒基, and even if those big giant company, when they develop an estate, they might focus on small unit 納米盤, they might focus on family unit 上車盤, they might focus on luxury unit 豪宅盤. So they divided the customer by income group, all right? Small unit, middle unit, and luxury unit, something like this. And of course, as a startup, you might not be able to focus, okay, even though people might focus on a narrower group, with the unit focus on family, because family want to have a decent living environment. But you, as a startup, you might not be able to beat with these people. I cannot. I don't have millions of dollars, or 冇千億資金. So what we do? And then under that situation, you may try to go for something which is a little bit small. The big operator, they won't really care to fight with you, but it's more enough for you to earn some money, and they are a little bit small. They will not attract the big developer. If we are talking about property development, and then of course you will not say, let me buy a piece of land, 用1000億買塊地 and then build. Okay, you cannot do that, I presume. 中六合彩都唔會啦. And then, okay, in that case, I might go 1 or 2 unit. Let me go for holiday flat. And then holiday flat is attractive, but they are rather small. Developer, they won't interest in that. So you can avoid those big operator, but you may earn big money during Christmas break, New Year break, summer holiday. Especially now we're talking about COVID-19, and then some of you may prefer to go to Changzhou, go to Lantau Island. Okay, go for holiday flat, and you don't need a huge amount of money, but that kind of property-related industry, you may be able to earn something and also earn big money, because the youngster willing to pay for $1,000 for a 2-day 1 night in Changzhou or something like that. Okay, so just a side issue. Okay, even though it's nuisance or 無謂嘢, anybody can tell me whether in the past 1 year, whether you have rent a holiday flat before. Okay, 呢一年有冇去嗰度搞租屋? Yes or no? To see what are the demand, all right? Oh no, okay, CK say no, and then Jasper no, and then Helen, 哎呀冇呢個，唔係一個 good example 啦。Okay, so you might not interest in that. Sometimes because you are not operating a hotel, and then especially COVID-19, you cannot go to Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Auckland, and then you might spend. But surprisingly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 response say no. Okay, anyway, just some example. Let me move on. All right. Okay, and we finished talking about, hold on, product, in industry, target market. We now go for organization. And after 1, 2 PowerPoint slides, we'll go for financial one. And then after that, we will go for chapter 4. All right. So if you can recall at the beginning, talking about CTU, all right, whether they really are capable of offering that degree, and then talking about organization, there are 2 main issues. One is human resources, your people. The other one is material resources, recall. All right, so now finally come to R, the resources one. And my example used in the CTU is, yes, your product is good. You think that Hong Kong people love pets, and DSE target market, they love the degree rather than studying, just for example, Japanese degree, finance, business analysis, IT, they may go for that degree. Okay, so yes, no problem. But what about human resources? Do you have professor? Do you have a good faculty to support? And even though you can invite professor, do you have resources? Resources talking about equipment. 磁力共振機器, they are not talking about $1,000, but millions of dollars for the equipment. Okay, and then do you have sufficient space? You need a big space to install those equipment. Okay, 成棟 building 一間醫院 all right, consultation room, equipment, radiology, X-ray check. So do you have space and equipment? So all these are material resources. Do you have sufficient? All right, up to this moment, when we talk about resources, all kinds of resources except financial, because financial one will be the next few PowerPoint slide. So we are here talking about some sort of non-financial resources. Everything not finance, because financial one, we open up a separate item later on. All right, and then that's why organization, we are talking about people together with non-financial resources. Non-financial resources can be raw material resources, can be equipment, can be space, even talking about information resources. 可能你手頭上啲資料 information can be one of the resources, something like this. All right, so let's take a look. Management wise, whether your people who handle that, whether they have passion, to make it short, whether they have PICT, all right, whether they know the industry well, understand the market, so they have passion, they have good execution intelligence, they understand the market, 知道客人需要. All right, so all this you must have PICT. If not, your idea is no good, because your product itself good, but you cannot support them. All right, and then what we said here, we'll cover that in chapter chapter 9. All right, and then we are talking about it may be better you are not working alone. If you have more partner, you make a strong team rather than one-man band. Sometimes you may say, okay, so we have a strong team. We have people from Japanese study. So if we have some product related to tourism, and then we have people understand Japanese culture, but understand Japanese culture is part of it. We have people who can handle the full set of account, finance people. And then we also have people who are majoring in finance, who can really make a good financial planning. So we'll have a strong team rather than I alone go for one-man band. Okay, so the management can be management team, which can really help people, a strong team. Okay. All right, so this is management. What about resource sufficiency? I have mentioned just now, apart from financial, all the non-financial resources, whether you can get it or not. And then in the next few PowerPoint slides, I will show you some example later on. All right. And then because we need to say that one of the key issue is about your product idea. And in chapter 12, we will cover an important asset, 知識產權, intellectual property. They can worth billions of dollars if you have an innovative idea. 你發明咗啲嘢，你攞到個專利，個專利係以百萬計、以千萬計。Okay, so if you got some sort of patent, and then you register, this is your invention, and then it can be billions of dollars, something like that, if you invented a new product. Oops, where is my pointer? Here, a new product. That's why recall. We are talking about resources. If you have a very innovative idea, which is very creative. And then yes, the opportunity is yours. 機會係屬於你嘅。All right. So talking about resource efficiency, here is the one we are talking about. Just now I'm talking about 專利. And then if you have a new camera with with a new smartphone with 10 camera at the back, and then 360-degree shooting, 540-degree, etc., and then yes, you are able to beat with your competitor, even though they are big. You still can do that. So here are some example, not a full list, but just some sort of example talking about the resources. Example here, just now we mentioned office space. We're talking about HR, non-financial resources, and then even your partnership network. It can be some sort of resources that you have, and also IP, Chapter 12, 知識產權, intellectual property. All right. Okay. You see that I go a little bit fast because they are not particularly useful for your business plan. So PITOF, yeah, okay, F. All right. And 錢唔係萬能，冇錢就萬萬不能. Okay, money is not everything, but without money you cannot do a lot of things. So yes, here comes finance people 強項啦. And then you also need to do some sort of financial analysis to see at the beginning, 初創企業, how much I need. And if I manage to start, can I survive ongoing expenses? You need to have a good financial planning. Okay, so startup cash, before you generate the first sales, you may already need to buy a lot of equipment. If you open a coffee shop, you need an office space. 要租鋪位啦，買鋪位啦。You need coffee machine. You need a barista. You need people. You need to provide training before you open up. Okay, so you need to spend a lot of money as a startup. You need to plan well, purchase equipment, etc., and daily operating expense, training costs, paying salary, buying coffee bean. Not only this, and you also need to have a good schedule, financial planning, right? Finance 嗰啲強項啦, of course, and then that's why even though in this class you end up make friends with Japanese studies, finance, and econ and account. So you may need Jasper from account to handle full set of book. You need to have somebody from finance and also the subject matter, your product, something like this. All right. Okay. And not only start up, but you should also try to find out, is my idea feasible, by referring to somebody who are doing similar business. 睇下你有冇錢賺。如果個個蝕到趴街, of course you won't go in, all right? And that's why, okay, I think I'll go into a particular industry. There might be some direct competitor. So you go for secondary research. Try to look for the data, whether people with a similar product, do they have profit making? Do they have a high return? And you even go for gumshoe research. You go and stay outside, observe 1 day, 1 week their shop, and to see how many people visit their shop, how many people come out with the product, and to show that whether people love that kind of product, whether they will buy it or not, etc., etc. Right? Okay, and that's why you go for secondary research, second-hand data, and also first-hand, which is a gumshoe research. 好似偵探咁去監視住人，睇下做跑腿，to observe outside the shop to see whether yes, a lot of people go in and a lot of people come out with shopping bag. It means that they are making good business, something like this. All right. Okay, and then of course also interesting, even though you are not from faculty business. So if to start up, you invest $100,000 into a business. Just crazy example, okay? After 1 year operation, after first year, you earn $10,000, and then for me, I will say 把鬼, okay? Simply because your rate of return is about 10%, all right? You invest $100,000, you earn 1 year, you earn 10%. And then you may say that, come on, I invest that amount of money, but end up got only 10%. And if I use that money to invest in stock market, I may even earn 300,000, 可能3倍嘅喎 okay? I buy 騰訊, 700, and then my purchase price is 300. Now it comes to $700. 我買入嗰時300蚊一股，而家700蚊 all right? And then you work so hard, you spend the whole year, your lifetime, not lifetime, your 1 year time, work 9 to 5 for the company, for your business, and you earn this amount. Come on, forget it. Why don't you invest that amount in stock market? You might have 300% return, and then you invest in stock, just for example, and then you yourself go into work for other company, and then you also earn salary. 然後晚下手咧，你賺到25000蚊一個月 ，all right， 乘12個月 ，and then 數就係咁計啦。Why should I spend $100,000, work so hard, and end up I earn a small amount? If I just use the money to invest in stock, I earn big amount. And at the same time, I just work for somebody. I also have salary. And then in that case, forget it. It is not feasible. Unless you said that I invest $100,000, but my return is $1 million. 哦，咁啊唔同啦，賺100萬 something like this. All right. Okay. So basically, this is what I want to talk about. And hold on. One more PowerPoint slide, maybe just wrap up. All right. So what I want to say here is, yes, you just try to calculate, and this is what I said just now. All right, you try to find out, this the money, where it comes, where it go. You do some forecast to see whether I use the money for other purpose will be a lot better. All right, something like this. Okay, and then this is about PITOF in chapter 3. And even though I got 5 minutes left only, but I would like to start a little bit of chapter 4. Make myself feel not guilty. 等我心理上平衡啲 all right? And then of course I will now go to chapter 4. But before, in the last 5 minutes, first of all, I hope all of you, because I will see you next year, okay, 2 weeks later, and then hope everybody have a healthy, happy, and a handsome year of the odds. 牛年快樂，賺多啲新年財，鬥多啲利是 all right? Okay, so but tolerate me, yes, happy Chinese New Year, thank you, Lord, all right? And now I still want to go for a little bit of chapter 4. Okay, so 等我開咗少少啦嚇，心理上平衡啲。Okay, hold on. And chapter 4 is about, hold on. Okay, the title for chapter 4 is about developing a business model. All right, and then what I would like to say also is in number 3. Hold on. Stop sharing. Let me give a little bit time. Oops. Chapter 3. Okay, so you can see that in chapter 2, recognizing opportunity, chapter 3, feasibility analysis, and chapter 6, we are talking about business plan. However, in between, whether I can write something. 哎呀，算啦，欲速則不達。And in between chapter 3 and chapter 6, chapter 4 is about a business model. And in a business model, you will be learning several terms. 一急親咧就乜都唔得㗎啦 ，OK？ And then, where is my 等可能你好不耐煩嚇，抱歉啊，等我搞埋呢個先。Okay, so in chapter 4, after you got an idea, you need to build up a business model. 你個運作模式 ，OK 個 idea 得啦 ，feasibility analysis 搞掂啦。So you go for how can I, in what way, how can I operate my business, which is talking about a business model. And 2 weeks later, next year, when I lecture on this, and then there will be 4 terminology talking about SORF. Okay, so this is also Jato style. So when you have break time, in the next 2 weeks, try to read something so that I can speed up a little bit, talking about chapter 4. But alert you, chapter 3 and chapter 5 are important for your business plan. Okay. 好啦，算啦，唔開始啦，我諗你哋好悶啦。Okay, that's all for today. But in the next 10 minutes, I will still be here, and then anybody can ask me any questions. If not, Happy Chinese New Year. See you next year. 牛年快樂，最緊要身體健康。OK，發多啲新年財。See you next year. 完。Thank you.